Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Topoco Lodge. We are less than 20 days away from the big reopening of the lodge. But before mid-March, what you can do is get up there for the weekends. They are open on weekends right now. So get up there or go ahead and book your trips for spring, summer, and fall. Do it through topoco.com, where you're going to learn all kinds of things about this fantastic resort area. It's just outstanding, right at the top of the dragon, as they call it. Topoco Lodge, topoco.com. All right, Mark Pankratz back with me. Want to talk about what some outsiders are saying about Tennessee. Seth Davis of The Athletic went out, and he does this every year. He goes and he asks coaches in different leagues under anonymity to give them a scouting report on teams in the league. And he asked a couple of coaches what they thought about Tennessee. He combined what they said. Let's go to that right now, and I'll get Mark's feedback on this. All right, the coaches told him Tennessee has great experience, great chemistry. I know Grant Williams gets a lot of pub, but no one is a star on this team. If you can really shoot the ball, you have a chance to beat them. If the refs are calling the game to protect Williams, you have no chance. He shoots a lot of free throws. He ducks in and seals really well, and he knows how to get fouls by flopping. When he lowers that shoulder, you got to take that freaking charge. They're a good rebounding team, but you can rebound against them too, beat them to the offensive boards. They have some size, but they're not huge. You need to be physical with Admiral Schofield. Don't let him get transition threes because that gets him going. A team with length that is physical, like Kentucky, would be a test for them. In the past, you could let Jordan Bones shoot it, but he's making them now. People have been scoring against them. It's just they're hard to guard. They don't have a rim protector, except maybe Kyle Alexander, and he's not real big. They'll give up a lot of threes because they focus on stopping guard penetration so people can drive and kick for open looks. They didn't really stop the guard penetration yesterday, as we discussed earlier. Your thoughts on that scouting report? Are you buying it?
Well, there's obviously some good stuff in there. I think length and physicality does bother them. You saw that versus Kentucky. You saw the physicality and length of LSU bother those guys. Flopping with Grant Williams, we talked about it when they were playing West Virginia. How would a non-SEC officiating crew
and how much he also likes to
defend him?
I mean, we said that weeks ago. Watch him drop that shoulder. If I saw him drop that shoulder, I'm taking the charge every time. Which they said.
Well, and I think it goes both ways too, right? At this stage of the game, Tennessee, when we go up against Ole Miss tomorrow night, the coaching staff's going to have these guys well prepared for all of their tendencies. And it's who can, at this point, who can have the mental capacity to carry out the game plan. The coaches know what they're talking about. They see the tendencies, but there's times where they forget.
Let me get to another one. ESPN Seth Greenberg, of course, a former coach himself, they asked him about Tennessee's Final Four chances. Here's what he said. Now, are they a Final Four team? I'm going to tell you something. Unless they get something out of Kyle Alexander and Fulkerson, they are not, because you can't play 5-on-4. That's just the way it is. So they need more out of Kyle Alexander. He can block shots. He can rebound. He's got to get some cutbacks. Tennessee is a very good team. The idea that they're the best in the country, as you really start to dissect it, I understand it's February. This is the dog days of the season, but they've got to get more out of a guy like that. Can you put this whole thing down on Kyle Alexander's shoulders? I mean, is that the missing link right now? They need more out of Alexander?
He's definitely a big piece of that. We saw that versus Loyola last year. What he can give us defensively in his ball screen defense is big time. If he's not going to have any confidence offensively, it hurts us. But you know, the fact of the matter is we need more from everybody in their specific roles. But we need where this team separate themselves was when Lamonte, with Bowden, and Alexander, the three guys that are not your stars, continue to shine.
It's funny you brought up the Loyola thing last year. I remember talking to so many people saying, well, you didn't have Alexander, and the response was always, oh, what's he bring to the game? You shouldn't have missed him. Here you got a former coach saying he's the key.
Just even yesterday, we went on a run, went up 9 points when he made a couple putbacks. He blocked a shot, and he got engaged.
Yeah. All right, very good. Will the Vols get their revenge against Kentucky? That's coming up a little later. But next, the SEC title rates and how Tennessee has done against teams in Joe Lunardi's bracketology field. Come on back on the Sports Source.